Welcome back. Today on the shooting table, we're going to be taking a quick review of the Walther P99 and 40 Smith & Wesson. Of course, this model also does come in 9mm. Picked this up last week in a trade. Decided I wanted to give the Walther a try, even though it was 40. Even though I've strayed away from 40 Smith & Wesson over the last couple years. Mainly just because they're getting extremely hard to trade for some reason, but overall I think the price on ammo is going to come down because of that. So all the 40 loaders out there, eventually I think ammo is going to get down to about the price of 9. It's getting there pretty close as it is right now. So the Walther P99, interesting gun. The gun overall, of course, it's polymer, double action, single action. Comes with standard 3-dot sights. It has what they call an anti-stress trigger. Now, some people might have the AS model, which, from my understanding, there's no difference between this trigger and the AS model. Gun has a paddle mag release like most of the H&Ks. I just dropped it right there on the floor. H&Ks, Walther, most of them have the paddle mag release. So the trigger itself on this gun, overall, it's pretty nice. It's a little different though from your standard DASA trigger. What I mean, I'll show you. Of course, the gun's empty. Go ahead and decock it. Now you have a standard double action pull after you've decocked, of course, which breaks all the way back here. Now let's say we fired, rack slide. Now the reset on it is right there, and it's good to go again. Let off. Let's say it fired again. We'll let off, and it'll come out and stay in this single action mode until you pull the trigger again or decock. So now pull again. Now it's in single action mode. Now the trigger itself, the double action, is a very long pull, but it is a pretty smooth pull. And the reset on it's fairly good. And what I've noticed, kind of try to get it on camera, is that when I go out to reset, and I come back, you'll hear the click right there, and then that's your trigger brake. So you have kind of almost a double two-stage trigger, but it's not. I think it's just the mechanism. So let's say we got it back now. You can bring it back after you've racked the slide into its single action mode, and it still has a bit of take up before it'll break. So it's fairly light. You could probably carry it like that if you wanted to, but I would go ahead and just keep it DASA for carry. So it's an odd trigger compared to your normal DASA SIGs or any H&K or other Walthers for that matter. The box comes with 2 mags. We have a couple extra front sights. Found that kind of odd when I got this. Of course, it has rear grip panels, small, medium, and large. Got a lock in there. Got your books in there, and then it also has a target. Kind of shows you from the factory firing. Breakdown on this gun, easy. If you ever field strip a Glock, it's pretty much the same way. Go ahead and I leave it in double action mode. So I'll go ahead and just pull back a little bit, and you got these 2 tabs on the side, just like Glock. Pull it forward, and you're good to go. And of course, it breaks down just like any other modern gun. Goes back together the same way. Put your recoil spring back in, slide it on, cock it to the rear, and you're good to go. Now, like I said earlier, the gun is pretty darn light. I'd say it's a little bit lighter than a standard Glock 23. Fully loaded, it's still pretty light. So shooting this in the 40 Smith & Wesson, has a little bit more recoil than what I expected, but it's still manageable. Now I would say it's manageable for more experienced shooters. You send somebody out that doesn't have much experience shooting, and you're giving them a 40 Smith & Wesson, they're probably going to be discouraged because I don't think they're going to hit as well as they think they should. So it does have almost a little bit of a learning curve to it to realize where you got to hold at. Overall, the gun was accurate for me. I don't have too many gripes about the gun besides that break back here, that little crunch right before the break. Other than that, it's been a pretty well gun. I shot 100 rounds through it. Didn't have any problems. Everything went smooth, extracted well. I think at the price point that these are at, now they're kind of hard to find, especially the P99. Most of them are the AS models. I typically see them around $550, maybe up to $6. I don't think you have a bad price, but I do think that this gun is kind of a special market. It's not your common double action, single action carry gun, but it very well could be after you get used to it. This trigger is definitely something you have to get used to, and your decocker being on the top up here is a little odd. So, say we racked around in, you got trigger stays all the way forward even though it's in single action mode. Now I could pull it back to this point and it'll stay, or I can go ahead, fire. Now, after I let off, of course the slide would have racked. It's in single action mode. If I want to put it back into double action mode for carry, I just push down on the button and it'll bring it out and drop the striker in the back. It does have a loaded chamber, or not a load chamber indicator, but a striker indicator, saying now it's in single action mode. If I pull that, striker stays up front. Same when I decock, goes up to the front. Overall, I think it's a well-built gun. Most Walthers are. You don't see too much junk come out of the Walther factory. It feels great in the hand. I think like most Walthers do. More than likely this will get traded off because I need more guns to review. You want to see what we'll pick up next. If you have any questions about this gun, feel free to ask. I'll do the best to answer them. Try to get a video up of me shooting it here in the next few days. But other than that, we'll see what we get next. I might keep it around. I do kind of like it. And we'll see. But thanks for watching. I'll see you again next time on the shooting table.